This is Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell. Joining me today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar. We also have principal second violin and artistic administrator, Merwin Sue, and... Let's welcome back Felicia Canny, Director of Marketing, who is returning to us after a long absence, the prodigal participant in Toledo's Symphony Lab. Welcome back, Felicia.
Yay. Happy to be back.
We are so happy to have you here.
You've been on maternity leave, obviously,
Yes.
with your young newborn daughter.
Yes.
How's that been going?
You know, I was telling Merwin this morning that it felt like a long weekend.
Really?
Wow.
And
That's
now
a very
we're back.
long weekend.
Yes.
The long weekend.
One of my favorite things about Felicia's maternity leave is that she would take pictures of all the sweets that she would bake, which would make me feel like I needed to do more baking or cooking. So you had a direct impact on the quality of life at the Vassar household.
Oh,
Well-
but you texted me a picture of you baking.
I made a pie. I made some cheesecakes. Was
this a competition?
Well, with you, everything's a competition.
That's
So
okay.
true. True.
Well, welcome back, Felicia. It's great to have
Thank
you
you.
back in the regular chair. We saved it for you.
Oh, good.
That's not true.
I know. We had a few other guests, but now we've
Good,
thrown
good.
them all aside under the bus, and we
Oh,
brought
my
you back.
goodness.
The team is back together.
Speaking of baking goods, it is still that time of year, my friends, of course, when holiday cheer is being spread far and wide. And also, if you turn on the television, you find all kinds of holiday movies, and that is where we're going with this episode of Toledo Symphony Lab. We're taking as a point of departure today the classic film, wait for it, It's a Wonderful Life. See, I just gave an angel its wings. Get it?
That's impressive.
Wow.
Definitely nobody in this room getting their wings today. But
Yeah,
It's a power.
we're taking It's a Wonderful Life as sort of the theme of this episode today. First, I should probably ask, has anybody seen the film?
Oh, well, sure. Has anyone not seen the film?
Well, it has been since 1996, 1997 that I
Wow.
last saw the movie.
I might have seen it through some sort of osmosis, maybe.
You've never seen this film?
Having the movie on while
Felicia, what were you
playing
doing on
games.
maternity leave?
baking. Duh.
Trying to sleep?
Sleep baking.
Yes. I think that's accurate.
Wow, that's amazing. I'd like to not try that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is one of those movies that for a long time was out of copyright control, so it could be
Yeah.
played 25 times at the Christmas season.
Uh-oh.
And
I think you just spoiled one of my quiz questions for later.
sorry,
That's
sorry.
okay.
But sometime, probably in the mid-'90s, it was put back into copyright control, and it was aired, I think, now once a year. But it's it's one of my favorites. You know, it's a beautiful movie. It's a little strange for its time, but you know, it's a holiday classic.
When you say a little strange for its time, can you be more specific?
Well, this whole idea that Jimmy Stewart's character has wakes up after a depressive episode and never exists, and he has to go see what his life or what everyone else's life would be if he were never there. And he sees that his wife is a unhappy unmarried woman, that his the wonderful town of Bedford Falls never quite prospered the way it did if he had lived, and that mean old Mr. Potter had way too much power, and you know, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But you know, that's kind of an alternate reality. It's a little sci-fi if you think about it. But it's much more like Groundhog Day, but set in the 1940s.
Yeah, and it was not a box office hit by any means.
No.
There's a great story about the director Frank Capra when he pitched it to Jimmy Stewart, and halfway through his pitch, he started to realize what a downer the whole story was. and he said to Jimmy Stewart, "I guess this isn't really a very good story,
We
is
should
it?"
just scrap it.
Well, and he was such a good comedic actor, and certainly a dramatic actor. I think this kind of falls somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You know, but when you think about the opening scene or two, you know, after he loses all of his money by accident inside a newspaper, he's ready to jump off of a bridge.
Yeah.
that's happy holidays, folks.
Well, we were a lot closer to the Great Depression
That's true.
when this film was made than we are now. So you put it in context. I mean, it was maybe a little bit more understandable as a movie trope.
That's
that
fair.
we used. Evidently, Stewart's rejoinder to Capra after he stopped in the middle of that pitch was, listen, if you want me to do a movie about a guy driven to suicide who rescues an angel jumps off a bridge and rescues an angel in the water, I'm all for it. Where do I sign? Right? So he saw the potential.
Well,
of
wait,
the film
Zach,
right
you
away.
do a pretty good Jimmy Stewart. Let's
Well, no,
hear that rejoinder.
We
As a Muppet, if I recall.
I was just going to say that I really do hope that the inspiration for this program was actually the episode a couple weeks ago when Tim Lake was doing a Muppet Jimmy Stewart.
Well, if we were to cast the movie, though,
This
I mean,
is
you
what
could
we
be,
miss.
Yeah,
when Felicia
Zach
is
could be
not
Jimmy Stewart. Who would you be, Felicia? Would you be Zuzu or would you be Mary?
She hasn't
course.
seen it. She doesn't know what that means.
Well, take
Mary.
a guess. You'd be Mary?
Yes.
Okay.
Mary.
I get to be Clarence. Who are you going to be,
You
Mary?
get to be Clarence.
You get to
yes,
be
you have
Clarence.
this.
He just got his wings. There we go.
I feel like you haven't left me a lot of choices.
Merwin is Zuzu. Well done. No, Mr. Potter.
Merwin's
definitely.
pedals.
Pedals? Wait.
Right? Zuzu's pedals. Was
That's
it
right.
pedals?
No,
it was pedals.
They're
wasn't
literally pedals, like flower petals that
Yeah.
belong to Zuzu. So
it? Not bicycle pedals. Petals. English. Anyway.
Man, all these angels are getting
I
their
know.
wings today.
Throughout the entire
I feel like I'm
episode
really
today.
part of something here. Thank you, WGTE.
Well, one of the things that I asked everybody to do was, and this is really not exactly the way that the film happens. In the film, we see how other people's lives would have turned out had, George Bailey not lived. So we've sort of twisted that around to our own purposes, and everybody has written their own alternate history, what may have, transpired differently in their life had they taken a different turn somewhere.
I should point out I wrote mine under the influence of Bailey's.
How
George
appropriate.
Bailey. Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
actually true.
Every time you take a swig, an angel gets its wings.
It's
right?
funny. I actually wrote mine at a bank building and loan.
That's amazing.
Really?
Will,
Both
will
of
the,
you?
will the wonders never cease? See, now this is the voice that I missed here.
Yeah.
Felicia
Like just
and her.
chastising
Calling us
us for.
Chastising? Really? Oh, no.
Exactly. Okay, alternate histories. Here we go. I'll read these one at a time, and then we each have to guess whose is whose as we go along. Obviously, if it's yours, you can't guess. Or you can fake guess if you want to throw other people off. But here we go. First one. Partway through my honors thesis for my English literature degree, I had a horrendous case of writer's block. Instead of pushing through and completing my paper on scatological imagery in D.H. Lawrence, I decided to scuttle the entire project and instead complete the preliminary sketches I had made for an operatic libretto on Aristophanes' Lysistrata. The paper only got a C-, which told me that this had a lot of potential as an opera libretto, and I beat Markadamo to the punch in composing and premiering the opera. At an after-party, I met a struggling young composer named Lin-Manuel Miranda, convinced him to abandon his Broadway dreams about a musical based on an obscure founding father, of all things, and partnered with him to instead create the groundbreaking tragicomedy 1812, the first of a trilogy of hip-operas examining American-Canadian relationships. The overture to 1812 becomes the most requested piece of 21st century classical music, causing radio hosts and symphony administrators everywhere to have to constantly ask, wait, which 1812 overture? Ta-da!
That
So
has
that's number one.
that has Merwin's fingerprints all over it. I'm sorry.
Totally.
Halfway through, I started doubting myself, and I wondered if Brad had incorporated some of the fake ones he made and just paid very, good attention to what our likes,
Oh, no.
our dislikes.
You'll know when it's one of my fake ones. You'll definitely know. Yeah, I think that the giveaway was definitely Canadian-American relationships.
Oh, I think at the very beginning I knew it was Merwin's.
Yeah.
You knew it from the
Yeah.
beginning?
The
Yeah.
literature.
Oh, that was a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's number 2. This story begins in grade school. A young student loves the stars and decides that they want to be an astronomer. They go to the principal and ask what they need to do in order to become an astronomer. The principal says that you must be very good at math. So, the student works very hard, becomes a math genius, and eventually wins the Nobel Prize in physics. Yay! Who would that be?
Well, while you were reading the story, I pictured little Zach going through.
No.
I knew it was wrong,
It's
but I
not
pictured
Zach.
little Zach doing that.
That brings it down to 3. It's not you.
I think it's
right?
Cresswell.
It's me?
Yeah.
That's right. And it's actually a true story all the way up to the math part, because when he told me I had to be good at math, I was like, oh, well.
Well, this is over.
I actually thought it was you, but then all of a sudden, when you said the student decided to work very hard, I was like, oh, that sounds like Felicia.
Well, no, see, these are alternate histories. These are things that never could possibly happen.
And what are the rules of the game again?
Okay, here's the next one. This self-proclaimed risk-averse person majored in actuarial sciences in college, was president of the ASS, Actuarial Sciences Society. Not going to touch that. And got a job right out of college working for Ernst & Young as an actuary. Driven to high achievement, this person passed all exams in 6 years and earned the highest designation, Fellow of the Society of Actuaries, FSA. On free time, this person hangs out with pet cats Fibonacci and Digit and enjoys baking. Maybe even sleep baking. Anybody know who it is?
Do we even have to guess?
I would go for Felicia on this one.
Yes.
Good job, Felicia. And then you said your daughter wanted you to add, and then a dinosaur came and ate everyone.
Yes. She wanted that to be the tag at the end of every story.
Why such violence?
I don't know.
Does she play with
Well-
dinosaurs at home?
We have it. We were going through things.
Now, the other thing I want to know, is there such a thing as an ASS?
I was a part of it in
Really?
undergrad at BGSU.
Were they even aware that
Oh,
ASS
yes.
is
Oh. Oh, yes.
so much
Because
pride.
I double majored in music education and actuarial science.
How do I
And
not know this about you?
I've told you many times, Zach.
Actuarial science?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, I have told
I know
you.
you were in the flight corps. I knew that you had fascination with math, but
Flag Corps and orchestra should still be a thing.
I know you played the oboe.
So I double majored, and I was part of the society. And this leadership team had they created these T-shirts. It was red, and the only thing on it on the back ASS.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we
That
had
is subtle.
T-shirts.
You wanted to join the society just for that.
I probably quit because of that.
Now,
I'm kidding.
at the risk of embarrassment, I can't exactly remember what an actuary is. Can you tell us?
Well, it's
You better know.
It's for like insurance companies, like analyzing, the probability of people like dying.
So you
No,
were
that's-
good at math.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the probability of our making it out of this podcast alive?
Let me pull up a spreadsheet.
Okay, one more.
Well,
And
there's process of elimination here. This is suddenly anticlimactic.
let's see if we can guess.
I also
who this
don't.
is.
I don't like the I don't like the setup as much as everyone else did.
Oh, you don't want me to say yours now?
No, you can. It's just
Okay.
a little depressing.
It's a little more in line with
It's a Wonderful
Life. Yeah.
Ooh.
I think Zach was thinking It's a Wonderful Life when he was writing this. Would have spent a career working in big business. Despite the opportunities for international travel and bonuses, this person would have focused less and less on art and the ways it can change lives. Decembers would be filled with booking new business instead of playing sleigh ride, and while this person and their family would be happy, they would never truly unlock the power of Christmas.
I think your reading of it, Brad.
Yeah, I really
that
needed
help?
that. Well, I mean, many people probably know that this is not my. This is a dream job, and all I can do is compare this job to the career I had before this, and how much happier I am working in this. So, I feel that
This is so depressing
this
right now.
is a wonderful life.
Yeah, it is.
Aw.
Very
a
lucky to have
definitely. Well, let's brighten things up a little bit. I have some alternate histories.
Oh, good.
Okay, so I have written my own alternate histories for each of you. You have to tell me who I'm talking about, okay? The first one. This person, having been warned by their father to avoid the music of Gustav Mahler at all costs, develops a phobia against all classical music except Tchaikovsky for some strange reason. Driven by their resultant obsession with Tchaikovsky, they decide to become a ballet dancer, thus launching their legendary career as La Mamma Gingera. Do we know who that is?
I thought this was an alternate history.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little too close to home.
This hits a little too close to home.
I'm looking at a picture of myself as Mother Ginger right now.
It's semi-alternate history. Okay.
Yikes.
Here's the second one. After barely surviving a deadly attack by the Asgardian Loki, this violinist decides to jump ship and leave the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the DC Universe, where, having been traumatized by their experience, decide to turn evil and take up the identity of Isaac Bowen, also known as the Fiddler, archenemy of the Flash.
What?
Who would that be?
Merwin?
You just ruined my Halloween costume for the next.
Wait, Merwin gets a whole Halloween
Oh, you'd
concert
be a
to
good
himself?
Yeah, Loki.
His costume.
That would be great.
That he
I
wears
meant
at
to
the
say
Halloween
costume.
concert.
Yeah.
You're going to be the Fiddler.
I like how you just brought in like several different utterances from the Halloween. Was it the Halloween episode that we talked about the Fiddler?
I don't
No, that
know.
was the
No,
Heroes.
that was
List.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, this is I try to connect
Oh,
back to the
you pay
past, right?
attention.
And sometimes it's completely by accident, but I'll take it anyway.
It's very meta. I like the way you're doing
Yeah.
this.
Well, now
Okay.
I'm really scared for mine.
Well, here's yours, Felicia.
Oh.
You ready?
Okay.
This person played the oboe at an early age. One day, just by chance, while taping an episode of their favorite podcast series, they discovered they had a talent for a different instrument. Can you guess what it is?
Kazoo virtuoso Felicia Canning?
Alto
The
recorder.
kazoo. Unfortunately, their twin sister got a hold of the kazoo they originally wanted. They got it for Christmas, thus dashing their hopes of kazoodom forever.
Zoodum.
That always happens.
So there we go.
I feel like the
You
timeline
didn't write
for
one
that-
for yourself there, Brad? I
Oh,
mean,
no.
You're like, no.
No. Sorry to say I did not. Although you're welcome to try if you want to. Okay. Time for what I call It's a Wonderful Quiz. And since nobody except for Zach has actually seen the movie all the way through, I think we can declare him the winner ahead of time. But we'll go ahead and do it anyway.
That's the
okay?
first. No, I'll find a way to lose.
Let me bring up.
It sounds just like Bedford Falls.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. It's a Wonderful Quiz. The author of the original story sold it to Hollywood by, was it having it performed as a stage play? Was it putting the whole script on a 21-page Christmas card and sending it out? Or was it sending the script to Jimmy Stewart?
I'd go for A.
I'll take
Having
B.
it performed as a stage play? No, that's not right.
I will take B.
B.
No, there's no way it fits onto 21 pages.
He made a 21-page Christmas card and sent it out to people. The whole story was on it, and it got picked up and bought by a studio.
Amazing.
Question number 2. Before Jimmy Stewart was attached to the film, the studio wanted who? Was it Cary Grant, Clark Gable, or Tony Curtis? Any takers?
Gable.
No, it was not Gable.
Grant.
Yay! You got it! Cary Grant. Cary Grant. There
Isn't
it is.
that true of like every movie made in that era, though? It's that, hey, you know who we should get for this? Let's go get Cary Grant. I bet you he'd be great in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. The film bombed at the box office. What saved it was A, the studio forgot to renew the copyright, B, it was bought by NBC and played incessantly on television, or C, the Supreme Court ruled that it was in the public domain. Which one of those was the initial cause for the popularity of It's a Wonderful Life? Zach, you talked about this earlier, so you should get it.
Well, yeah, I was hoping to abstain this one. They forgot to renew the copyright, so for a period of time, you could play it as much as you want.
Yeah, and it was played as often as possible. Okay, here's the next one. The community that claims to be the inspiration for Bedford Falls, where they have an annual It's a Wonderful Life festival, is it Niagara Falls, is it Seneca Falls, or is it Hudson Falls? Niagara, Seneca, or Hudson Falls? This is a city in upstate New York.
I will go with Hudson Falls.
Seneca Falls.
All right.
Guessing helps.
Guessing is totally helpful.
Seneca Falls. I mean, this is a big deal, and they just had it not too long ago in early December.
Did Jimmy Stewart show up?
They have you know how Disneyland has characters that walk around? They actually have people dressed up as characters from It's a Wonderful Life, just walking the streets and greeting visitors and greeting people on the streets. They have showings of the film. They have various presentations. They do showings of the Donna Reed film.
Wow.
I think Donna Reed's kids were there giving presentations on her. They have exhibits. You can go to the bridge that they say was the inspiration for the bridge that, Clarence jumped off of, and you can buy a bell. They sell bells there as well. And they have a gingerbread house making competition. I mean, what could be better?
I can see.
I would fail.
I disagree. I think
Didn't
would
you
do
make like
wonderfully.
7 gingerbread houses on maternity leave?
They all collapsed.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Except for
because
the
you were
pre-made one.
sleeping when you made them. That was
Yes.
the problem.
Sleep
Seneca
deprivation.
Falls. So if you're if you love the movie It's a Wonderful Life, you might think about taking a trip next December to Seneca Falls.
I feel like this will be on our run-out schedule.
Yeah.
Let's add it.
That's quite a run out. Yeah.
Part of
Okay.
our-
Now we
it's
all
part of our
remember.
life.
Do you remember the swimming pool gym sequence?
I
They're like
do.
dancing in the gym, and then a kid comes and hits the button, and it opens up, and there's a swimming pool underneath it.
Seemed like really bad architecture from my
Yeah.
perspective.
Well, that's a real thing. Beverly Hills High School. That's where it is. They call it the swim gym, and it's a real thing, and it's still there. I mean, and yeah, you hit a button, and the gym comes out, and there's the swimming pool.
I feel like if you were maybe running down the court with a basketball, it would just sound like you were running on a drum, right? Because it's
Great
hollow
use
underneath.
of space.
Yeah,
It would also smell like chlorine
yeah.
all the time.
Well,
That's an improvement over most gym smells.
Point from Irwin.
definitely a point for Merwin. I'm going to write that down. So my question is, the kid who pushed the button in the film, it's an uncredited part, and it's one of these people. You tell me which one it was. Was it Carl Switzer, who was Alfalfa in The Little Rascals? Was it Robert Blake, who was in Our Gang from MGM? Or was it Roddy McDowell when he was a child star of Lassie Come Home? One of those.
I was just going to say Kevin Bacon, but I guess I was wrong.
Not Kevin Bacon.
I
Alfalfa?
have no idea.
Sorry, would you say Felicia?
Alfalfa?
Yeah, it
Wow.
was Alfalfa,
That's how,
Carl
how I got
Switzer.
through my math degree. No, I'm kidding.
Really? Okay, for the film's special effects, Frank Capra invented a new kind of, was it fog, was it snow, or stars? What did he invent for special effects for the film?
I feel like snow.
It
I
was
feel
snow.
like snow.
And I'm inspired because of recent performances of the Nutcracker, where tiny little bits of plastic bags showered gently upon the orchestra pit.
Yeah. What did they use for snow in the Nutcracker?
It looked good.
Tiny little bits of plastic bags showering into the
It looked really good. Yeah.
It did look good, though.
He often
I
listens.
thought maybe you were just making that up.
No, I wasn't.
Because back in the time when they made It's a Wonderful Life, they used to hand paint cornflakes and use those as snow.
When did
Seems-
soap come along? I mean, soap flakes was the most natural snow.
Well,
I
this
thought.
was before snowflakes. This is before
Potato
snowflakes.
flakes. I feel
Yeah.
like that should work well.
I'm sure there are all kinds of flakes that Hollywood has used over the years.
Did you say this is before snowflakes?
Well,
Haven't there
this
always
is-
been snowflakes?
This is before
Soap flakes.
Soap flakes.
There we go.
Yes. And so what they did, the problem is cornflakes, as you can imagine, all those cornflakes falling down and people walking around, you hear crunch, crunch, crunch.
Sure.
It was very noisy, so they had to invent a non-noisy kind of snow.
I feel like the flakes would fall too fast if they were cornflakes. They wouldn't fall.
I don't
right.
know. Maybe
Just
we
like
ought to
this
do an
is someone's-
experiment. You can try this at home.
So if
See
you
it
drop
works.
a piece of cornflake and you drop a piece of soap, do they fall at the same velocity?
Well, absolutely. That's gravity. That's a law. It's just like the air that would keep one from hitting at the same time. If you did it in a vacuum, they would both hit at the same time. See?
This is someone's job.
Educational podcast.
This is what actuarials do.
This is why I won the Nobel Prize in physics, right?
Psychics.
Yeah. Okay. What did not happen when George was never born? Okay, this is one of the things that this did not happen when George was never born.
So it did happen.
No, it
So
just
it didn't
happen
happen.
at
It's
all.
a double negative.
No.
Felicia, you're good at math. Tell him why he's wrong.
Which of these did not happen when George was never born? One word, never born.
I feel like this is like some discrete math.
Okay.
Where's the parentheses in
Was
this
it?
equation?
Yes.
Yeah.
His uncle went crazy, his former boss went to prison, or his brother died in the war. Which one of those did not happen in the alternate history
B.
of George Bailey? B, his former boss went to prison. No, he actually did go to prison. Because
Didn't-
George wasn't there to stop him from poisoning a child, remember?
So,
Yeah.
doesn't his brother drown in the... So, I would say his brother does not die in the war.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is like a this
Merwin
is.
Oh,
gets
right.
that
Of
one.
course, his brother John, because
Yeah.
he wasn't there to save him. Right. I'm sorry.
Here's the final question. Which of these is not a quote from It's a Wonderful Life?
So it is a quote.
Okay. No. Which
Like,
one
no,
of
that doesn't necessarily mean it is a quote. Brad's like frustrated.
Which one of these?
I love that Merwin has his head down on the
Okay.
table right now.
Final one. Which one of these is not a quote from the movie? No man is a failure who has friends. You've really had a wonderful life. Or each man's life touches so many other lives.
Number 2.
Number
B,
2?
yeah.
No,
Really?
it's not number 2.
Oh, I totally...
That's actually
One.
in the movie. No,
You know, Brad, I'm going to
Number
go for
one.
number 3.
it's all of the above.
Ah.
Actually, those are all quotes from Clarence, the angel, who just got another pair of wings.
So wait, they are quotes from the movie then?
Yeah. Was I confusing? Was I not
Wait,
clear?
What
I
did
thought
you
which one
say?
was not a quote from the movie.
Yeah, which one was not a quote? It was a trick question.
So
Wait,
they're
should we go back in
all
time and double check?
quotes?
They
Yeah.
were all quotes from the movie.
So the answer
The
is none of these.
transcripts.
Yeah.
Not all of these.
Yeah. Yay! Okay.
So they're all quotes. I was right.
Okay, let's tally it up.
Oh my
Let's
gosh,
see,
we
I've
actually
got-
kept score?
Yeah,
One,
he was
two,
going all
three.
Carl
This is
the
Castle
fir-
over
this is
there.
the
4
first
for
time,
Merwin. 1,
Did
2,
you include my bonus
3,
one for...
4 for Zach.
Did you include?
I got a bonus for something.
I don't remember what it was.
But it
Oh,
was
I
very
did get a
important.
bonus.
All
I got,
right, well, yeah, you did, but Merwin wins.
But Merwin wins.
Merwin
I told you,
is the winner.
I'm the only one who's seen this movie in the last 15 years, and I will lose.
Well, I think that was a pretty good subject for our podcast. It's
Absolutely.
a Wonderful Life. It
What's
is
the time?
indeed a wonderful life. Well,
So what-
we're out of time.
Well, I was
We're
just going
have
to
wrap it
I
up.
was going to close with one question.
Okay.
What makes your life wonderful?
What makes my life wonderful? Family, music, friends, and the opportunity to share all of that as well. Well, I don't share my family, but sharing the music. And I don't share my friends that much.
Take my wife,
But sharing
please.
the music.
It's like, I don't share. Actually, let me just take that all back.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Felicia, how about you? What makes life wonderful?
What really makes life wonderful for me is pizza and ice cream. Okay, Felicia.
Well, I think I just have to copy your answer, Brad. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Ditto.
Pizza and ice cream.
That's a ditto.
That's a ditto.
Zach, your turn.
Just the beauty of art and the ability to share it with so many.
Merwin.
Making connections with other people.
Nice. Okay. I want to thank everybody, Zach Vassar, Merwin Sue, and Felicia Canny. This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony. You can download episodes of this program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including Apple and Google Podcasts. I'm Brad Cresswell, and you've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab on FM 91.